What's going on, everyone? My name is Henry from Ahead of the Curve 94. Thank you so much for tuning in to my very first video of the year 2025. Why not start off with a banger? What are we reviewing? Titanic. Let's go. Titanic. Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet star as members of different social classes who fall in love during the ship's maiden voyage. So basically, yes, this is a historic film, except the main characters are all bullshit, okay? Yes. Rose and Jack did not exist. So, straight up internet, relax, because we're going to get into some shit today. Now, this is a film I've been watching for almost all my 30 years of existing, okay? This movie came out when I was 3 years old. We had that VHS box set that came with two tapes. You stopped at the midpoint, you had to pop in the other one, and you had to make sure you rewinded it the last time you watched this. The whole thing you ain't got to worry about today. For this particular review, we're talking about the 4K edition, which I want to say for some reason on the cover they had to label it first time on 4K Ultra HD. This movie is already sucking its own dick. Straight up, people, this movie used to break me down, okay? Throughout the fucking mid to last act, man, I used to bawl my eyes out. And if for some reason the fear of being on a wrecked ship in the middle of an ocean wasn't enough, that ending, the very ending, man, I'm having vivid memories of watching this with like my brother and sister, and it was tough getting through this one back in the day. I had to be consoled, needed a back rub, something. So with that being said, classic or not, we're gonna review this thing the way we do any other movie. There's gonna be pros, there's gonna be cons. Look, I'm hard on my favorite movies, okay? Check out the Interstellar review. Check out the Fury review. There's so many more coming down the line. Even in my favorite movies, there are flaws. So this one is no exception. Sorry, not sorry, internet. So first controversial opinion. The core relationship between Rose and Jack. It's super sweet, okay? But it makes no goddamn sense. There's so many red flags on each side that the other one completely ignores. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, man, it's a shame too, because I think if the Titanic reached its destination, this relationship would have fizzled out really early, okay? Another controversial opinion. As iconic as the score and the song My Heart Will Go On, as iconic as those things are, there's some corny shit, okay, people? Don't try to deny it now. It is now the end of 2024 as I'm recording this. Now, whenever you're watching this, hopefully I'm still alive, but yeah, let me know. I would love to read your comments. Like, this was a movie the internet is, I feel like they're afraid to critique because everyone knows and loves this movie. And I say loves in quotes for people who are just listening. Yeah, no, I went, I don't know, probably like a decade without watching this film up till very recently. It's gonna be a while before I watch it again. If I'm being honest, I don't think I really needed to buy this 4K version. I just needed to update from this horrible DVD that I have where it's like, I'll simulate it on screen right now. Yeah, that's what this shit looks like. This DVD is trash. So, I saw this on 4K. I was like, hey, what better way to watch it? Why not? Cinematography and sets, unbelievable, remarkable, even almost 3 decades later. Rose, very unlikable character. She's just a snooty rich person who's not even rich anymore. Her and her mother are sort of just mooching off a cow, played by Billy Zane, who best believe we'll get into much later.
I don't understand you. It is a fine match with Hockley. It will ensure our survival.
She's really entering a relationship with really nothing much to offer outside of what you see. And let me tell you, folks, Rose is 17 years old. Now, when filming this, Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio, they're like a year apart. I believe they were like 21 and 22-ish, somewhere around there. Leonardo looks like a baby. He looks like a little toddler twink. I'm sorry to say that. I'm sorry to say those two words in succession. What am I trying to say? Well, she's 17 in this one, so keep that in mind when we approach a certain scene. All in all, the biggest critique, let me get into it. 194 fucking minutes? Come on, Jim. What the fuck, dude? Now let's get into this damn thing. The film opens with Bill Paxton rediscovering the wreckage of the Titanic. Best believe, people, this is some real eerie shit right here. This footage used to just already set me off. It turns out he's just here to retrieve the diamond necklace that Rose wears throughout the film. Yes, that one. Okay, so yeah, he's not here on some noble quest just trying to get facts. This motherfucker is trying to get paid. So keep that in mind throughout the film when Old Rose, according to the subtitles, Old Rose is retelling the events, much of which she wasn't there for. During her story, there are bits of where she's probably drifting off, talking about what the captain was doing, and they're just like, okay. Yep, okay, the captain. Yep, okay. Yep. Lady, cut to the diamond part of the story. That's what we're here for. We'll cut you in. Throughout the film, we'll cut back to Old Rose, who's played by, sorry I didn't catch her name prior to this review. Kate Winslet plays young Rose, who is on board the Titanic. And if I'm not mistaken, this is like the day or maybe 2 days before it goes down. Context, people. Throughout the film, you get plenty of hints and foreshadows of what's to come. Leonardo DiCaprio is responsible for a bunch of early ones, like, we're the luckiest people in the world. Cut to, I'm fucking dying, Rose. Jack and Rose meet via complicated situations. What am I trying to say here? Rose is really unhappy living this, snooty, rich life with this man she doesn't love, with her mom who's just grooming her to be a fucking plaything and just mooching off of her. She's what I would call like a pageant parent, at its worst. A fucking leech is a better word for it. So Rose is unhappy and she sort of like plays with the fact that she might jump off the boat. Luckily, good old Jackie Boy's there to rescue her. Rose is full of shit though, because yeah, she's talking all this bullshit about how she'll do it. Once the moment actually comes, she slips. Panicking now, aren't we? And she gets saved by fucking 90s Romeo. Let's not forget, people, this is right around the time Romeo and Juliet came out, which I don't care what you say, that movie is goated. I haven't seen it in like 15 years. I'm gonna need to do a rewatch, but I'm putting it down right now. I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna fucking give it an add it to the collection whenever I rewatch the goddamn thing. Mark my words. Also, it takes 30 minutes for the motherfucking ship to take off. So in my eyes, it takes 30 minutes for Titanic to Titanic. So that's a con right there, goddammit. Never mind when shit goes south. When the big oh shit moment happens. Never mind that. Wait, we're far from that. Jack isn't perfect either. I got the hint that Jack is definitely a player. Now, he's on the boat coming from France, and he's drawing all these nude, foreign women that he comes across. No, I just love her hands. No, I couldn't have sex with her. She's a one-legged prostitute. You tap that ass. Come on now, don't try that. Later on, it's revealed that, yeah, he's, a little bit of what we call a borrower, aka a fucking thief. There's a point where he's actually framed for stealing something, the diamond, which he didn't steal, but it's put in a coat that he did steal. Another red flag for Rose to just blatantly ignore later on. We're not there yet. Whatever. It's just there's just so much bullshit going on with this one. Insert Billy Zane, who fucking A people. I hated this guy as a kid. I didn't know Billy Zane from any other movie at the time, but he was just a Titanic guy. That horrible hairpiece. I mean, I get it, Billy. I'm bald too, but like he's handsome bald. I look sickly. He's actually the one who introduces the diamond to Kate Winslet's character. So, he's kind of important in the long run. Plus, he's an abusive piece of shit, and they kind of waste no time showing that. Throughout the film, he will progressively get worse, but yeah. They show him early on that he's like more attached to the moms. Like, are you fucking both of them? And, gross.
I'll see you at dinner.
Oh, darling, surely you remember Mr. Dawson?
Dawson? That's amazing. Like, you could almost pass for a gentleman.
Almost.
Now, Leo plays a character who doesn't have an address. Essentially, moving one place to another. I imagine if this was the real world, he would kind of be like Ed from Shaun of the Dead. That's kind of how I pictured Leo's character. Had he gotten to live, I guess, whatever.
What's up, niggas?
At one point, he's invited to hang out with all the snooty rich people, and he's got a nice tux that Kathy Bates, Kathy Bates just had her son's tux with her for no reason at all. He's not on the ship, people. She just has his tux that perfectly fits him. Squeaks! Ah, it felt good! Yeah, at one point, he's invited to a dinner with them, and, he honestly, homie kind of holds his own with those snooty rich people. He lays it all on the line, and hey, I gotta respect the honesty. After that, he takes Rose downstairs to the fucking sub-levels where the poor people are. Now, this is where we get the scene where, they're just holding on to the camera, just spinning around, having a great time. Also, this is where we get the ballerina scene where she's standing on her tippy toes. I've tried that as a kid. That shit hurts. I got nowhere near close as she did. This is memorable and all. Like, yeah, I remember this vividly from my childhood. But where's the iceberg? Can we get to the goddamn tragedy? As I mentioned earlier, throughout the film, there's a bunch of foreshadowed moments. At one point, there's an ice warning, which the captain's like, oh, perfectly normal for this time of year. Let me say, people, Jack is in way too deep, okay? Homie, it's been like not even 2 days yet. Like, settle the fuck down. How has he made it this far in life on his own? Because he's just instantly whipped. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, I get it. Settle the fuck down, man. And same for her. But wait, we get that scene where she's like holding out, doing her best Jesus pose. He's right behind her. Everything's all right. Yeah, okay. During the rewatch, I was legit cringing super hard throughout this scene. This did not age well. Luckily, we cut back to old Rose. She states that it's about 6 hours until it happens. And no, not the sex scene or the nude drawing scene. Okay, we're talking about the goddamn iceberg. We've got 6 hours of story left. Old Rose has kept these motherfuckers busy for probably what feels like an eternity. But whatever. Everyone's clearly invested in the room, and she's got the floor. Bill Paxton is still being patient as fuck. Still. Here we are. The new drawing scene. The draw me like one of your French whores or whatever Kate Winslet said. Yes, okay. This is definitely one of the first times I saw a nude scene in a film as a kid, okay? I'm remembering between this, Halloween 2, that's definitely one as well. So back then, of course, this was a novelty. Those boobies, I didn't need context behind it. This was something I shouldn't have been seeing technically, or something I got away with. This is something families would watch together. Even with this scene, it was just a rite of passage. My problem today during the rewatch is she brings Jack in Cal's private quarters to do the goddamn drawing. So yeah, the naked part, that's even, take that out. Take out the nudity. Just having him there already, really asking for it. But if he was to catch them in that position, boy, yeah, shit would have got worse. And yeah, I don't think Jack would have died freezing in the ocean. Let me just put it that way. Another big problem. Why are we dedicating 5 minutes of screen time to a naked 17-year-old? And this was made in the 90s. I gotta imagine, there was some do's and don'ts. This is a bullshit character. Just age her up a fucking year and it wouldn't have been as bad. I say that as someone who's turning 31 next year. I'm sorry, this has come out in 2025, so I say that as a person who will be 31 later this year. So look, Jim, we need to talk. And why we gotta have them stank up someone else's car? I mean, that thing was clean too. They literally just walk into this car, they fuck and just close the doors. It's gonna be a little funky in there. Halfway through, people, and still no iceberg. Psych! It's here. Just as Rose is ready to commit her life to Jack, she literally tells him how she plans to leave Cal and everything else behind, and she's gonna live with Jack as soon as they dock. How sweet. Good Lord. Just whatever. I guess just drop everything. Let me tell you, outside of that romantic bullshit that they really tried to force down your throat, when we cut to the crew who's trying to narrowly escape hitting the giant fucking iceberg, this shit is tense, people. I literally had chills. So we're starting to build back up again. It took a while, but hey, we're finally gaining some momentum. And it's unfortunate that a bunch of people have to die for me to get my enjoyment, but that's the movie. This is when shit starts to spiral, okay? Some of the crew on the ship, they really turn into villains. We see them holding people at gunpoint. They blocked off the poor people completely, and that's because they clearly know there's not enough lifeboats, so they're trying to keep them at bay while all the rich get away. Speaking of which, there's a line in the film that some of the lifeboats are only holding 12 people when they're built to hold up to 65. That's some fucked up shit. Not only are you playing God already by deciding who gets on the boat, you're literally just cutting it by a fifth. Man, this is some horrible shit. I don't know how much is true, how much is fiction, but man, that's really unsettling. It's good for a film, but in reality, it's really eerie. Titanic is given 1 or 2 hours max before it goes down.
From this moment, no matter what we do, Titanic will founder. But this ship can't sink.
She's made of iron, sir. I assure you, she can.
The captain at this point is still holding true to his rank, bring out the lifeboats and don't tell the poor. At this point, he's still holding on to it and, we gotta get shit going. He's clearly shitting his pants though, so, respect. Luckily, Rose, since she's in with the snooty rich people, Victor Garber's character, the man who designed it, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Andrews, that's his name. Mr. Andrews straight up tells Rose, look, you gotta go. We don't have time for this shit. Get on a boat, get the fuck out. Which, if that was me, I'd be at the fucking boat immediately. But hey, this movie has an hour to an hour and a half left. Holy shit. I do enjoy the musicians on board. Okay, these motherfuckers are dedicated to their job. They are just trying to lift the spirits, and they don't even attempt to get on a boat in the end. They just accept their fate. And man, it's so goddamn ridiculous because Me at just during the rewatch, I'm yelling at the screen like, "Bitch, stop playing! Get on a boat. You're rich, probably. I don't know. God damn it." You at least encourage your friends to go on a boat then? Just whatever. They'll just die. Whatever. I will say, Cal, Billy Zane's right hand man slash security, whatever the fuck he is, the guy's name is Lovejoy. He is horrifying and such a dick. Oh man, you want to see him get his for sure. Him and Cal just Lovejoy, probably my goddamn MVP. This is where they frame Jack for, the necklace. Lovejoy put it in his pocket. I'm sorry, it's not Jack's pocket because that coat doesn't belong to him as we established earlier. But yeah, so Jack is framed, he's handcuffed downstairs alone with Lovejoy. That's fucked up, by the way. They were just gonna let his ass drown. Good thing Rose is good with directions here, people, because unlike me, I would have had to write them down or something. I would have at least had to do arrows on my hand. I am horrible with instructions or directions, excuse me. I'm great with numbers. I'm great with math, division, multiplication, decimals. I'm good with that shit. But if you were to tell me to do anything other than like 2 rights and a left, I gotta write it down. I don't know what to do. She does have like a breakdown on the way there. It's like, I get it, but you gotta stay focused. This is literally life and death, and it's mostly just death. She saves him though in the end, and it's like, yeah, I'm much more than a great pair of I'm much more than a pretty face. Now, there might be a few of you who are wondering, what's Cal up to? We haven't heard from him in a minute. Cal is over there plotting. He's literally trying to figure out how to settle the score. So he basically tries to trick Rose into getting into a lifeboat, which Jack goes along with, and he clearly knows what's up here. But Jack and Cal convince Rose to get on a lifeboat and that those two will follow on a different one, which we all know is bullshit. It's kind of sad though, because this is like the last time they're gonna see each other. This is the end of their relationship. Psych! She jumps out, and let me just tell you people, Cal does not like that. Bang bang, motherfucker. So they narrowly escape, and I gotta say, this is where I noticed they inserted parts of the Alien score. Nice touch. It's okay to steal from yourself, Sir Cameron. And if I want to be technical, it's actually James Horner who did the score. I love it when Cal realized that he put the coat with the diamond in the pocket on top of Rose. So now it's hers, and of course that's how she has it later on, which we'll get to. Don't get ahead of me, even if you saw this movie. We'll get there, people, I promise. So I love it that he realized that that diamond, she gone, ain't coming back either. I also love the fact that he's so goddamn petty that he finds this random stranded poor kid who's in fucking rags while he's dressed to the nines. He picks her up, pretends he's her father to get on a lifeboat. It's like, God. When you think he can't sink any further, pun intended, he never ceases to surprise you. It's ongoing. He's such a piece of shit. This is where the Cap has a breakdown, and he just decides he really wants to go out with the ship. He literally goes into a part that's submerged, so there's really no other way to explain it. And I found it really hard because I just watched that actor die in Return of the King, and I literally watched them like days before each other. So yeah, I don't want to see that man die anymore. I hope he's still alive, and I don't want to jinx him either. So you know what? Just forget I said anything. Goodbye, King. The musicians are still here. And they play the saddest fucking song ever. This is where we get like a heartbreaking montage of so many people in their final moments. For example, like the old couple who are cuddled up in bed as water's rising. Man, this shit, I'm getting chills thinking about it right now. And it holds up, absolutely. I just wish it wasn't, all that other bullshit there. But whatever. That's No movie is perfect. Well done. I've always feared drowning. This movie did not do anything to help with that fear, especially at a young age. Personally, I had almost drowned a few times. Of course, I was unable to get past it. Excuse me. Yeah, I was unable to get past that until the year I turned 30, which is currently the same year I'm recording this in. Yeah, I didn't learn to swim until like, I don't know, May or June. I had to meet my goal of learning how to swim by 30, and I cut it real close, but I did it, and still, no, I just could not approach anything in this film. It's horrifying. People, it's nothing but water and just pitch black. Good God. When you have me constantly thinking about what I would do in this situation, you kind of got me pulled in. It just, well done. I gotta say, bravo. There's just so much chaos going on. And, not to play God or anything, but why does Cal get to live? Why do all the rich pieces of shit get to live on? Why everyone else suffers? Especially Rose's mom. Like, she's a fucking leech. Offer nothing beneficiary to the story. It's heartbreaking, but that's exactly how it goes in real life. Those are the ones who live, and it's rough. Speaking of Cal, Rose later on mentions his fate, and okay, yeah, let's just say he doesn't live much longer after the Titanic, but I just think he should have checked out earlier. Okay, that's just my opinion. We wanted to see him get his. But people, at this point, we are building to like the most iconic image in probably the entire film. The ship splitting. Oh my goodness. Let me say, the visuals, the sound design, all that was beautifully done. It was great. So, there's a pro of watching this 4K version. As the propellers rise, people, this sequence does not let up. It still haunts me. I do not want to drown, so I'd much probably rather be one of those people that fell and hit an object before they hit the water. Not that that's much better, but it's like, if you survive the initial fuckery of the fucking ship splitting, just pulling you down with it. If you survive that, you get to join a fucking mosh pit of people just screaming and drowning while freezing to death. Like, there's no alternative. This shit never stops to hold your hand. For example, there's a shot of a mother holding her baby, just froze to death. Oh, so many people are left behind to freeze, and good old Kathy Bates is on her lifeboat trying to rally the crew. They shut her shit down. I believe Rose says it's getting quieter, and this is where we get Jack trying to reassure her and motivate her to keep hanging on. He tells her to do a lot of things with her life, which, later on we find out she did most, if not all of them, before she passed on. So, nice little touch there. We know where this leads. Jack's in the water. Rose is on the big fucking door. Yeah, it's been parodied a million times. You know what's happening here.
Fuck you! Fuck you! I'm fucking dying here! I'm fucking dying!
Meanwhile, one of the rescue boats being piloted by Mr. Fantastic, I believe his name is Yoan Gruford. Stay tuned. We're definitely going to review at least 2 of those movies this year before, the MCU one comes out. So, yeah, Mr. Fantastic comes back on a lifeboat. Rose is using a whistle. How'd she get the whistle? Well, she had to let go of Jack, who it turns out he's no longer with his people. She lets him go, and he descends into the water while everyone else floats, because that's what dead bodies do. Typically, whatever. Maybe that was just something that happened in her head. I don't know. I found that very interesting, though. She's able to use the whistle. They pull her in. She's a goddamn sole survivor in this group. Lucky Rose, I guess. Must be one great fucking door. Cut to old Rose, who, she's told the entire story except for the part they want to fucking hear. But whatever, that doesn't matter because they show the modern day crew and there's just not a dry eye in the room. And they're all just like, what a sad story. Wait, what are we doing? Oh, the diamond. Me personally, I'm like, this bitch might be lying. Let's waterboard her. It's revealed she had it the whole fucking time. So it's been 84 years, insert the meme. 84 years she held on to this diamond. I got a problem with this, people. Instead of ensuring her family had, financial security for possibly generations, she just held on to it and then decides to throw it in the ocean. Like, okay, lady, I get the sentiment here, but that ain't doing no one any favors. Do you not care about the generations that you helped create? It's a mixed fucking signal for me. Actually, it's not a mixed signal. It just doesn't fucking work for me. She is selfish. I said she was unlikable in her young age, portrayed by Kate Winslet. Old Rose ain't doing herself any favors, okay? So goddamn frustrating. She just wanted to tell her story. She's just fucking bored. I put my money on that. Good thing there's no money on the line, because I'd be wrong if I did put my money down. Guess what? After she does that, she's laying in bed and she passes on. Just like, it's almost as if she had to finish her final quest before she could move on. It's just like, alrighty then. Awfully convenient timing. But before we go, there's one more heart tug. We're just gonna try to grab you and pull you in. As I said earlier, people, the final sequence at the end here used to fuck me up. This is where we get a first person perspective of Rose. She's back on the Titanic. Everything's restored and looking pretty as the day before it sank. Everyone's there. It's like they're waiting for her. Guess who's at the top of the stairs at the clock? Goddamn Jack wearing his suspenders and shit. I could hardly ever get through this movie without crying here. Did it work this time? 27-ish years later. Let me be frank here. I thought it was a great way to end this movie, but it did not have that effect on me. At least not this time. Maybe as I get older, I'm starting to become a little softer. But, as of right now, it's just like, it's good. Yeah, that's a good way to close it out. If it wasn't for all the cringe, people, this film, Titanic, could have gotten a rating of New Religion. Okay? Yeah, honestly, it's so well done. It's so suspenseful. If it wasn't for all the stupid, dumb shit that we went over in this review, I would have gave it that rating. As of right now, the way I feel, I'm going to give it a high stream it rating. Okay? I don't think you really need to own this one. Classic or not, we're gonna rate and review it fairly, like we always do. But yeah, I don't think you really need to own a copy. I don't think you really need to go out and buy this 4K. It looks great, but if it's streaming somewhere, if you got an old DVD and you don't mind fucking small ass screen, watch that instead. You don't need to go out of your way to really watch Titanic. Definitely see it if you haven't. Yeah, I feel like everyone should see it at least once, just to be clear. But it's not the fucking benchmark that it once was, okay? Times have changed. I've changed with them. There's literally so much to like here, so much to root for, and just a lot of positives, but it gets muddled by the stupid shit. Well, with that being said, people, I think that's enough for me. I've been going on for who knows how long this video is going to be. Best believe in 2025, we're just going to keep going harder. I don't care if we get one new subscriber this year. Nothing's changing. We're just gonna keep coming out the gate swinging. Reviews all year. At some point, I'm gonna move over there to the other side of the room, and we're gonna record some gaming videos. I've been slacking on those, but best believe I got some ideas. I think that's it, people. Happy 2025. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate every single one of you. I don't care if you comment or not. I just appreciate you checking in for this review. But if you don't mind, leave a comment. I want to know if this shit holds up in your eyes, because I had this movie that it was regarded highly before the rewatch, and now I'm gonna need probably another decade. That might be extreme, but it's not that amazing anymore, okay? My name's Henry from Ahead of the Curve 94, and I'm signing out, y'all. Deuces! Hey, it's me again, the guy from the thing you just watched. Or fell asleep on, and you know who you are. Either way, I just need to say thank you so much. You deserve a reward. So, there you go. And while we're here, please consider subscribing, leaving a comment, and most definitely check out another video. Perhaps this one right here, or maybe that one over there. The choice is entirely up to you. And that is the Ahead of the Curve promise.